Subjective success. Over the years, our perspective about life has changed a lot. How we define success, happiness, comfort, all of this has evolved with technology and times. While our parents sought happiness in a home, a car, a happy life with their children, in comparison, I think we seek much more. We root for mental health, freedom, an open lifestyle, rights, and the list goes on. Our needs have diversified, and I am of the opinion that even our understanding of what our life journey means has changed with leaps and bounds. Whatever I know about this topic, and which is mostly psychological, is my understanding of what I should expect from life and what I should do to make it worthwhile. But I always prefer discussing this stuff with friends, and usually those with varying perspectives and different mindsets. So in episode 17, I bring to you my dear friends Trisha Gurbani and Siddharth Gumasta to share their way of life and their definition of success. Let's see what happens. We start with something simple. While reading the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, the chapter on happiness brought so many different concepts and ways to see his life that I thought of asking you guys the same question on this podcast. So if I had to ask you to explain what success meant to you, what would be your first thought?
Hi guys, my name is Siddharth Gumashta, and thank you Hamza for inviting me and asking me to speak on such an important topic which some of us have been debating almost every day of our lives, and which is, how do you define success? I mean, this is a very, very big and a broader question when it comes to, defining success. It's not one thing or two things that define success. It's a series of things. And over the years, when we see our life that has been, when in college, school, or when we had any experiences, going abroad or, meeting new people, success can always not be defined, especially not by academics. I'm one of the guys who used to get the worst marks. I mean, मेरे marks देख के तो लोग एकदम shock हो जाते थे यार. But one of the things, about success is that how you, contain it. Is that when you receive or achieve something big in life, now that success for you, is that making you happy? Is that, making you thrive for more? So success need not be defined by money, by, achieving X amount of awards or something. The most important thing about success is, are you happy after the end product of what you've achieved? That end product you've achieved, does that make you happy? So your happiness quotient actually defines your success. If you're happy after achieving X amount of things, that means you're truly successful. And if you're like, no, I mean, this was not the best, I need more, and मुझे और ही चाहिए life में, and मुझे इन सब में मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है, that means you're not happy with what you're getting. So you're always having an expectation which is going to take you, put a bigger toll on your health, on your well-being, on your mental health. And for us, as mentioned in the podcast earlier also, that for us, what is more important, $1 million in the bank account, or traveling the world? Of course, traveling the world makes us much more happier. Why? Because we see things. When we see things from our own eyes, we think that okay, we can act in a different way. We meet new people, we interact with different cultures, we adapt to different cultures when we are abroad. But most importantly, we see that okay, we are very happy, we are experiencing that $1 million. Having $1 million, of course, gives you the comfort. I'm not saying that having a lot of money is a bad thing. You should have enough and adequate amount of money, which you are like, okay, I'm successful also, I have enough money. But truly, that what makes you happy is something you should work on. And yeah, according to me, the amount of happiness you achieve defines your success.
Success, according to me, is actually very subjective. So there are two kinds of success. One is where people think you're successful, and the other is where you think you're successful. So for me, success is not considered as how much money you make or what job you're doing. For me, success is where you like yourself, you like what you do, and you like how you do it. So the day I know I'm happy with the work I'm doing, or happy about where I am in life, I know I am successful. And it is not going to be measured with money or what position. Just as long as I am happy with what I do, I know I am successful.
Listening to your friends talk about topics like these and give their varying opinions is amazing according to me, because it opens your mind to so many different ways of seeing life. So thank you for that, guys. The second question is about a person's personality and attributes. In today's day and age, what do you think are attributes or habits that are crucial to make a person successful, or to define someone as an already successful person?
One of the major attributes to success, according to me, is empathy. Why empathy? Is because when you understand the other person's situation and act accordingly and try to, make solutions or formulate ideas with regards to that, you come out with a solution which is beneficial to everyone. I mean, having empathy in business, sometimes people would say, no, you must be ruthless, you must be shrewd, and that's not how business is done. But at the very core aspect of doing work or business, you must have empathy for your co-workers, for your brand, for your product, in fact. And when you have that kind of a feature in you, you automatically, attract all sorts of things towards you. For example, good sales, people liking you, people are like, okay, this guy is sweet, he understands. For example, बहुत लोग के ऑफिस में ऐसा होता है कि two colleagues are there and एक बोलता है यार मेरे को तो काम नहीं करना है, मैं जल्दी जा रहा हूँ, 6:30 हो गया है. But the other guy like, I really need to go early today, can you please put in the effort for me, just be there for another half an hour, 45 minutes, and I need to rush somewhere. And most of the times people are like, why should I do it, मैं क्यों करूँ यार, वो तो अपने लाइफ में चला जाएगा आगे, मैं क्यों अपना वीकेंड बर्बाद करूँ, या मैं क्यों अपना वेडनेसडे या फ्राइडे नाइट ख़राब करूँ. But the guy who stays back and for that extra half an hour, 45 minutes, he shows true empathy. He's like, what, this guy actually is genuine, he actually has to go somewhere, and if I just put in another half an hour, 45 minutes of my time, I guess I can help him. And at the same time, it's you develop that culture. So, and how is that culture developed? Again, through empathy. So if everyone is empathetic to the other person and लोग समझने लगे कि यार अगर थोड़ा हम दूसरों के बारे में भी सोचना शुरू कर दे कि ये not that, ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि यार ये क्या कहेगा, but more like to understand other people's thinking also, to understand other people's problems. I'm not saying that make it your problem. Of course, if there's unavoidable circumstances and all, you can't stay there. You need to go home. But there are certain times in life, when that one factor changes your entire quotient with someone in your office, in your works, in your life, or in anywhere you're dealing with. So according to me, empathy is one. The other is integrity. That's one of the biggest factors contributing to success.
I think once you step into the real world, you're going to meet a lot of people and different kinds of people. And I've learned this the hard way, that everyone's not going to like you for who you are. So everyone is going to criticize you at some point. Everyone is going to put you down, whether intentionally or unintentionally. The only thing that you have to do is not let it get to you, because if you let it get to you, you're going to affect yourself mentally. And how are you going to focus on what you're doing? You're going to let it affect you, you're going to let it come in your way. So the only thing that you have to do is keep yourself stable mentally and not let what other people think about you bother you, and just do what you're doing.
Indeed, these were some really interesting insights into attributes. Now let's talk about something that I personally love: self-help books. I've spoken so much about it over my podcast, and I think people are bored of listening to how driven I am or committed to reading and finishing books. No matter what you say, I strongly believe a good book may be self-help, or then, as Naval Ravikant recommends on topics like microeconomics and game theory, are the best way to educate yourself. If I had to ask you, Sid and Trisha, I don't know if you all are avid readers, but if you had to recommend even one book or maybe a few books on self-help and development, what would they be?
So, I don't really read a lot of books, but one book that I would highly recommend is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It actually explains how we can access the untapped potential of our subconscious mind, and how by doing so we can make ourselves much wiser and happier. And you know how positive thinking and visualization are very integral to achieving our dreams, and how we can actually utilize our ability to self heal. So it has also really allowed me to let go of all my negative thoughts, and it has helped me to change my outlook towards a lot of things, which is what has made me, you know, much better. It has put me in a much better mental state of mind. So, yeah, this is why I recommend this book.
So the third question, as you said, was if I have read any books. यार ऑनेस्टली तो मैंने उतने बुक्स पढ़े नहीं है लाइफ में, सिलेबस को छोड़ के स्कूल कॉलेज में जितना होता था उतना ही पढ़ते थे. बट देयर इज वन बुक विच वन ऑफ आवर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप प्रोफेसर्स हैज ओनली गिवन इट टू अस इन कॉलेज. इट वाज कॉल्ड द वन थिंग. And honestly speaking, that book has really helped me in making every decision, when it comes to business, or when it comes to in my own work life for that matter. Is that when you're given a particular task, you're usually young people like us, especially I've seen across companies and across my experience, of whatever 1-2 little years I've got, is that when a young guy joins a big company, he's very motivated, he's absolutely charged up. यार कि आज ये करना है, आज मुझे ये कर दूंगा, and एकदम सब स्पीड में करता है. And he's like or she's like कि यार आज ही मेरे को सब खत्म करना है, which is very wrong. He say, for example, you suppose मैं गया यार, it's happened with me also यार. मतलब I have gone to work in a finance company and a marketing company, and the first few months I'm always like, okay, give me as much work as possible, and it just clogs my mind. I feel like यार ये क्या हो रहा है, and then at the end of the day I'm like totally fatigued, and I'm like, Arey, this is not the way I should have planned it out. But then I remembered that this book, One Thing, taught that if you focus on one particular task and finish it with perfection, you're more likely to be at peace of mind at the end of the task, and more likely to obviously have that task done completely well, rather than doing 100 different things at one point of time. So my request is to everyone, whoever is hearing this podcast later, and of course, even to all elder people, not only us, that when we are doing something, when we are given some sort of a job या कुछ काम दिया जाता है ना, तो if suppose 3-4 चीज़ें दी जाती, तो you choose one thing, you finish it, and then move on to the other, rather than doing simultaneously. The whole idea of multitasking, according to me, I do not completely agree with it, because I feel that it just puts unnecessary pressure on the mind, and it just destroys peace. Rather, just take your time, do a perfect job. Okay, it might get a bit delayed. I'm sure people have deadlines, but I'm not saying delay it by 3-4 days. You can delay it by a couple of hours. I mean, I'm sure the whole EOD concept has just started in work from home. पहले भी होता होगा यार, हम लोग को तो पता ही नहीं था. But यार EOD के चक्कर में do not lose your peace of mind. Yeah, I mean, be calm, finish the work, and give yourself time. I'm not saying the book taught me that, but the book taught that just focus on one thing. Don't do 100 different things at one point of time. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the good reads I've had, perhaps the only read. But yeah, this is right यार हमजा, और पढ़ना चाहिए यार किताब मेरे को. I mean, yeah, तूने मेरी आंखें खोल दी, to be honest. But thank you so much, bro. Thank you.